Caledonian McBrain and the Big Light present
Fáilte, I'm Coinneach MacLeod, the Hebridean Bak. Originally from the Isle of Lewis, I'm an author, TV presenter and travel blogger.
And I'm Natalie Galloway, a singer-songwriter from Fife.
We spend most of our time travelling the world, seeking out amazing places and meeting the people who live there. Together, we're the perfect guides to the very best things to do, see, eat and enjoy on your next adventure to the incredible islands of the west coast of Scotland.
Welcome to Scottish Island Adventures. Today we have a very special episode coming to you straight from the Royal National Mòd, which is taking place this year in Oban.
That's right, Natty. I always love it when it comes to Oban because it's going back to its home, where it was first established in 1891.
The Mòd is famous for celebrating Gaelic culture, language and heritage. This festival happens every year for 1 week and welcomes people of all ages to perform across a range of competitive disciplines. It champions Gaelic music and song, Highland dancing, instrumental competitions, drama and literature.
It's such a fantastic series of events. It's organised by Gàidhealach, the Highland Association, and every year it's in a different town around Scotland. It's more than just the competitions though, it's such a special occasion where everyone is welcomed. Gaels and non-Gaels gather together and renew old friendships as well as forging many new ones.
And it's such an amazing thing to have all those musicians and performers, both world-class professionals and amateurs, joining in for the fun, together in one town, having a great big hoolie.
Coming up, I catch up with singer, TV and radio presenter and former Mòd winner, Joy Dunlop. I check out the choir competitions and hold on to your kilts as I have a bit of fun singing my favourite style of Gaelic song, Push the Bial. Come with me to the Royal National Mòd of 2024. It's Wednesday of Mòd week and Oban is so busy. It's brilliant to see. And we're at the Comunn Halls, which is the heart of the Mòd this year. Lots going on. And I'm just going to go in and see what's happening this afternoon. Now I can see a very important, very busy man over there, Innes MacQueen. Innes, Cymra how?
Clevatang, yeah, Cymra hin.
Innes, you're on the local organising committee for the Mòd this year, is that right?
Yes, I'm involved with the local organising group, so yeah, been a busy few months trying to get things put together. It's been 9 years since the Mòd. The Mòd has been in Oban, and as the first ever Mòd was held in Oban, it always feels a bit of a homecoming. So I felt as a local committee, you've got a bit of a responsibility to make sure it lives up to the expectations, because it is widely known that it is one of the best places to hold a national Mòd.
Be honest, it's the best, isn't it?
I wouldn't like to be too biased.
It must be amazing now, after all these months of planning, that it is here. The competitions are running smoothly. Everybody seems to be having a great time. That must have a nice sense of achievement.
Oh yes, definitely. Actually, when Friday started, it was actually a bit of a sigh of relief, because it just got underway, and working closely with the incoming Gàidhealach staff as well, who really know what they're doing, and it's just been great to actually see it underway and everyone in such great form, and really happy to be here, and I'm sure the pubs will be bursting tonight.
They sure will. And you're not competing at the Mòd, but will you be singing in the pub later?
I'll maybe join in with a chorus or two.
Well, we'll see you there for that. Cheers.
Yes. Okay, great.
There are venues all around Oban, each with their own competitions going on, and I've just arrived at St John's Cathedral because it is the Trad Learners competition. It's an amazing competition, and I know a few people who are entering, and I can't wait to hear them sing. we've managed to find a wee quiet space with all the action going around Oban, but I'm here with the Chief Executive of Comunn, James Graham. Come on, hi, James. Now, let's take our minds back a few years. 1892? Was that the first year the mod was here in Oban, is that correct?
1892, yeah, the first mod that was held, and in Oban as well. Since then it's been coined the cradle of the mod. It's kind of synonymous with the mod, and yeah, everybody loves it here.
So for visitors who maybe haven't heard of it or haven't been to a mod before, what should they expect?
Well, basically it's the world's largest celebration of Gaelic arts and language. There's a competitive element, so we have around 200 competitions running over the course of 7 or 8 days, but there's a huge overarching fringe element as well, so people that might not necessarily be interested in competitions, there's a huge amount of things for them to do: concerts, ceolas, book launches, talks, huge youth engagement, children's activities as well, so really is something for everyone.
And the fringe element has really grown over these past few years, hasn't it?
It has. You know, people come especially for that. You know, the pubs will be bustling here. There'll be music, you know, coming from every corner of the town, you know, for the whole 8 or 9 days. And it's just a celebration, like I say, of Gaelic language. It's the one time of the year where the whole Gaelic community can come together. You can walk along the street, you can be in pubs, you can be in shops, and everybody's speaking Gaelic. It's just fantastic.
Now, you're the Chief Executive of Comunn now, and a big part of that is running not only the Royal National Mòd, but as you say, the mods around the country as well. Do you think having been part of the competitions and really knowing the mod really well has helped you now keep it going forward?
Yeah, I think so. I think the wheel's kind of gone all the way around. Like I say, I used to compete as a competitor as a youngster. I've now got kids who will probably compete next year. Or whenever they want, and now kind of on the other side of it, organising. So I think it has helped having that experience as well.
Oban was the first, hosted the first ever mod, yeah. And we're now here for the 17th Oban Royal National Mòd. What makes Oban the perfect place to host a mod?
I think the geography of the place first and foremost. You know, people are meeting each other on the streets. You know, you can't avoid people. You know, the pubs are all, you know, in a horseshoe kind of shape around the bay. It's just a beautiful area as well, but also I think the Gaelic culture is really strong here as well, and the Gaelic community is really strong here as well, which, you know, is a huge benefit as well. People love it here, and as I say, it's known as the cradle of the mod.
Now, the first ever choir competition was won by the St Columba Choir back in 1892 here in Oban. But the choir competitions are such a big part of the mod. Why do you think they've continued to be so popular?
They are. I mean, they've got their roots in the communities first and foremost. You know, there's area choirs, there's rural choirs. So you know, these choirs are practising and performing all year round. They come to the mods year in, year out. You know, they uphold the Gaelic language, you know, by learning songs, by speaking Gaelic, you know, during their practices and everything else. So they're an integral part of what we do in the mod. And, you know, the choirs, certainly Thursday and Friday, the days themselves, they're absolutely cherished by mod audiences.
Now, it does have a bit of a nickname as well. The mod's also called the Whiskey Olympics, but it's got another couple of things in common with the Olympics, where all the cities and towns around Scotland bid years in advance to try and host the mod. So for those who are thinking of coming over the next few years, where could they attend the Gaelic and Whiskey Olympics, as they're called?
Yeah. So we work, you know, many years ahead. We're now in talks for Mod 2028 to try and find a host location for that. 2025 will be in Lochaber, 26 will be in Glasgow, and 27 we return to the Western Isles. So, like I say, we're a few years ahead of ourselves yet. But yeah, I mean, there's usually, you know, real interest in a host location looking to host them. There's huge benefits, of course, economic, but kind of more importantly, obviously, is, you know, the cultural impact and benefits as well. So yeah, we'll see where we are in 28.
Thanks, James.
Thank you.
First up when I get to the mod is to pick up a programme, because there's so much going on and you just spend your couple of days darting about between the competitions, and I'm off to choose my next one. Well, it's amazing who you see around and about in Oban. Double gold medalist. Everybody knows you as Emma Scalpay. Emma, give it a hi.
Official name. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Great. And now, once you win the gold, that's it. You can't enter again. Is that right?
You can't enter again. No, that's it. Never have to go through that stress ever again in my whole entire life. I get to wear the medals forever.
You can wear the medals forever. But you're back singing again in the competition this year. So who are you singing with this year?
I'm singing with Barra Gaelic Choir this year. I've been singing with them for about this is my third year with them.
Okay.
I went to Barra for the first time 3 weeks ago.
It's a nice island.
It's lovely. Not quite Scalpay, but it's lovely.
Now, I was hearing you sing. Great performance by the choir, and probably singing one of my favourite posts. I was wondering, should we give it a wee go as a duet?
Why not? Why not?
Listen, it's Janet Montgomery, isn't it? Seolas Montgomery. So tell us a wee bit about what was so special about Janet, you know?
She was so beautiful.
She was.
She was so beautiful, and she got a song written about her beauty and how happy that this woman made this man.
And, well, I haven't had a song written about me. What about you?
To my knowledge, I don't. There might be some horror stories out there, who knows?
Let's give this a go then.
Okay, right, you can pick a key and we'll go for it.
Okay, right.
Let's go.
Seolas Montgomery, Gàidhealach a Coinneach, Seolas Montgomery, so the fair and horror. Seolas Montgomery, Gàidhealach a Coinneach, Seolas Montgomery, so the fair and horror. Sound the rain of Comunn, full of bees of Comunn, sound the rain of Comunn, good on the Seolas, sound the rain of Comunn, full of bees of Comunn, down the rain of Comunn. So we've just joined John Joe at the rehearsals. It's a big day for Barra Choir tomorrow, so they're getting ready for their competition. I found the busiest man at the Mòd, John Joe Macneil. Come on, how, John Joe? Well, good. Great to see you. Great to see you.
Great to see you too, in your very busy diary, I should say.
Well, do you know what? We, of course, used to sing together.
We did,
in the
yes.
Glasgow Isla Gaelic Choir, but you've ventured north now, and you're the conductor of the Barra Choir, Coinneach Gaelic Barra. And what a great choir to be the conductor of. They've just got a great history, don't they?
They've got a great history and they've got a great sound, a really true sound to the community, I would say. And of course, the choir were around in the 90s, and it was set up by the music teacher at the time. And they came to the Mòd a couple of times, and then the choir stopped. And in 2014, I'm hoping my timeline is about accurate here, Lisa MacNeil, the music teacher in Barra, started the choir back up again. And then COVID hit, and Lisa felt that she needed more time with her family at the age and stage that they were. So I took over, and I've been conducting them ever since. And it's been a really interesting journey. And they have such a great sound, they have such a great vibrance to them as a group. And I absolutely love doing it.
Nisha, John Joe, it's so important to the island of Barra, isn't it, to have the choir back?
It's hugely important to the island to have the choir back. And one thing that we try to do is we try to celebrate local songs. We don't do that every year, but we tend to try and do it once every 2 years, where we pick a song that maybe is not so well heard from the island, and we celebrate that song and we celebrate the poetry. Because I think one of the really important things with choral singing, as along with any other form of singing, is you're celebrating those wonderful songs that poets have written, and it's great to be able to do that, from the point of view of a choir.
Now, you do have a real job as well as all these other many jobs, and quite an important job as well at Ceolas. Tell us a little bit about Ceolas, but particularly the amazing summer schools as well.
It started off at first with Project MacMillan and volunteers in the community working to create this week-long summer school, which featured song, language, dance, particularly step dance, and also this piping, fiddle, And it was interesting because there was this massive connection with Cape Breton, because so many of our ancestors went over to Cape Breton, took the culture with them, took the language with them, and then it was that the richness that they have over there and that sort of exchange of the traditions that they brought with them versus the traditions that we have currently just now on the islands. And of course, you know, it's fair to say that one of the main homelands of the language is South Uist. And it grew and grew. And in 2001, the main company was formed, the charity was formed. And then, of course, they came to a point where the Croxeller development, which had always been on their kind of, in their vision to create this building, they partnered up with University of Highlands and Islands Northwest Hebrides. And that vision has come about. We have Croxeller now, which means Clear Hill, and we've got the second phase of Croxeller currently being built. And when Croxeller was being built, they felt that they needed to elevate and have a chief executive, and that's where I came in, and I applied for the job, and the rest is but history.
And people can come along to the summer schools and learn and be part of all these amazing parts of Gaelic and Highland culture and music.
1,000,000%. The best summer school you're going to find for Gaelic. Gaelic language, music, culture, but it's so great during the day that there's all that learning going on, but there's so many jewels across it, the fringe events, the things you learn. You know, for example, this year, one of the really interesting things that we had was how to clean your bagpipes. Who would on earth have thought about that? You know, it was just great. And then you're jumping from that to learning how to set up your own home recording studio. And all of these, I should say, the majority of these events are available online. They're available through streaming platforms, which is also brilliant for Ceolas, and it opens Ceolas up. But I suppose the other important thing to say is Ceolas has now become a year-long organisation. So we do lots of things, from Gaelic classes throughout the year, conversation opportunities. We do music classes. We're about to just start on a brand new project with teenagers. And there's also lots of stuff that goes on when it comes to translation work. So there's a culmination of really great things happening in Uist, and we would love people to come and visit us.
John Joe, tell us about a couple of the songs that you will be performing at the Mòd this year.
Well, most people will know the prescribed piece, Birthplace. It's a well-known song, a song of love and lots of interesting imagery, is all I'm saying, especially in verse 4. Quite an interesting arrangement as well. Very, very, very beautiful arrangement up until verse 3, and then there's this wee change and all these ripples that echo through the piece. So it's going to be interesting how the interpretation of that will come across from all the different choirs. And then our own choice this year is a song called Coinneach MacLeod, the Cotters of Battersea. And the song is basically celebrating the Cotters who went to jail because of fighting for their land in Battersea. And of course, there was a real struggle, not just in Battersea, but in other places like Castlebay, Papay, Sandry. And they were seen kind of as leaders, as, you know, pioneers to go and actually fight and stand up in the court and really fight for their rights. Now, what interestingly I've done with this arrangement is, my own arrangement is, I'm starting off with the well-known song Sands of Battersea. And the first opening solo is Look Back on Battersea. And it closes with this solo at the very end, which says Chiava and Shelagigos is sad, the sight that I'm seeing. And interspersed in that, it sort of in the kind of middle, is this counternoch, this kind of pipe chant, with somebody speaking over it, and they're speaking Skipinish's, two of the verses from Skipinish's song Fuotichin. And the idea behind that is, I suppose, it's like a circle. It doesn't matter where you are, whether we think we're in a modern world or not. There's still clearances. You were talking about the clearances of the sea recently, and there's still clearances, and they still happen. And isn't that sad that we've still got that case? And that's the whole point of the arrangement. So I'm hoping, after all the time that I've been planning it, that it actually works that way and it's not a total disaster and we fall apart on the stage. But I'm sure we won't. I'm sure it'll all be great.
I'm feeling confident. We're going to listen to a wee bit of that, and good luck with the competition tomorrow. I can't wait to hear you on stage.
Thank you very much indeed. Keep going. Just sing your first chord, and well, if you sing that, I'll be delighted. With that chord, perfect. It was one of the
a big part of the Mòd now is the Mòd Fringe. music, concerts, book readings and lots of events. And I'm heading to one of them. It's an exhibition about Jessie MacLachlan and it's on at the Calmac ferry terminal. God, it's so fascinating to see some of the old concert recitals. She's got beautiful photos of Jessie as well. This is really special. I'm so glad I could make it here. And I'm so lucky to be joined on the phone by one of the co-creators of the exhibition, the wonderful Marianne Kennedy. Marianne, tell us, who was Jessie MacLachlan and why was she so important to Oban?
Jessie MacLachlan was known as the Queen of Gaelic song, or Smeorach na Gael, the songbird of the Gaels. And she was Gaeldom's first global superstar. Her singing talent was discovered at a really early age, singing in a church choir in Oban, and she was encouraged to go and train as a singer in Glasgow and London. But ultimately what she wanted to do was not sing opera, but to sing the songs of her own country. And it was taking those Scottish and Gaelic songs all over the world that gained her fame. And while she sort of fell out of people's memories, this project has been working over the past 3 or 4 years to bring her name back into the spotlight and give her the attention that she deserves.
And Marianne, tell us a wee bit about how and why you became so interested in telling her story.
I got involved in this project initially helping to establish a crowdfunder to restore her memorial stone, which is in Cathcart Garden Cemetery in the south side of Glasgow, very close to where I was born and brought up. It's a bilingual inscription, and somebody sent us a photograph of this saying, "Do you know who this person is?" And that started the whole trail. I then discovered that my cousin, Dr. Priscilla Scott, had done a lot of research as part of her PhD on women in the Gaelic movement of that era. And so we worked together, first of all, to restore the stone, which is beautifully done, and then went on to develop some educational resources for use in schools, some backing tracks so that people can sing the songs that Jessie loved to sing, and most recently, of course, the exhibition, which is a kind of homecoming, really, for Jessie. She was buried in Glasgow, but her heart was always with Argyll, so to be able to have the exhibition in Oban is wonderful.
And for those people who want to come along, how long will the exhibition be on and where can people see it?
You can see the exhibition in the Calmac ferry terminal down in the pier in the middle of Oban, and it will run for at least a week after the Mòd. It's up and running just now, and we just would love for as many folk as possible to come and visit and sign the visitor's book to say that you were there to see it.
Oh, Marianne, thanks so much for joining us. Well, I'm going to spend a wee bit more time looking at the exhibition and definitely sign my name in the book. Thanks so much. It's impossible to walk around the waterfront in Oban during Mòd Week and not see lots of old pals. But this old pal is somebody I usually see on the other side of the Atlantic. Cynthian, cymra how?
Hagama, cymra how hein?
Now, Cynthian, we've seen each other many times in the US, and the first time was at the New York Mòd. Is that right?
Yeah. Back last year, 2023.
And that was your first ever Mòd. Let's describe it. This was the first time there was ever a Mòd in New York. What inspired you to enter that?
Well, I will have to say I was pretty excited that Joy Dunlop was coming over.
We're always excited when
Joy. She's amazing, and to know that she would be hosting the whole event was very encouraging. And I had a little bit more of my local Gaelic song learning community that was also going up. So I felt like strength in numbers.
And you won. You were the first winner of the New York Mòd. How did that feel?
That was incredible. Certainly wasn't expecting that. Every time I go into a situation where it's a competition in a way. I really try to not think about that and just enjoy the music, enjoy singing and sharing beautiful Gaelic songs. But that was, a cherry on top.
Cynthian, you're from Virginia, is that right? Yeah. So tell us, how did you learn firstly about the language of Gaelic, and what made you start performing and singing with Gaelic song?
I mean, I would say it's kind of been a lifelong journey for me so far. I think I grew up hearing it, not knowing what I was listening to. So we certainly had albums from the Rankin family up in Nova Scotia, Capercaillie, Cara Matheson, and a good number of others. So I actually heard it before I really knew the language itself. I did study abroad in Edinburgh in my undergrad. And when I was traveling around, we found, back when they had CD racks at the visitors centers, Julie Fallis's group, Dochas, I had an album found of theirs. So this is back in 2004. And I played that repeatedly. So then when she had her newer fame through her Disney movies, it just felt like something was coming back again, and I was kind of reignited. And I just felt this pull. I just felt that I needed to start learning the language. I had studied other languages through singing before, and I thought, well, why not? Gaelic, it's always enthralled me, so why not?
And for somebody who wasn't brought up in Scotland, but now is, learning Gaelic and learning Gaelic song, do you feel part of a community?
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to say, especially, so I also spent a week at Ceolas 2 summers ago, and the way that the local community just was so open and brought me in, it felt very natural, and I felt so welcomed. And I feel that way every time I get together with anyone from the Gàidhealach.
Now, what made you think, yes, I'm ready, Oban, I'm going to do it 2024?
Well, I don't know about feeling ready so much as I felt a part of the community, because a number of people that I met at Ceolas were then either living here in Oban or had connections to Oban, and I thought, oh, I get to go see them again. I get to go be in that community again. So first and foremost, I think I'm here more to reconnect with the people. And then, I thought, well, I've learned some songs. All right, I can, I should sing while I'm there. So.
Well, and you are. So tell us what competitions you're singing in this week.
This morning I sang in the Skye and Sutherland competition, which was a massive competition. We had 16 singers, which is fantastic. That was amazing. And then tomorrow morning I'll be singing in the Porch de Biel solo.
Can you give us a wee bit of Iviata? Just as a practice for tomorrow.
All right. Iviata hua italan iviata ataretruan iviata hua italan iviata ataretruan kimrereilis manian jiashasarator kimrereilis manian skareri.
We're with local star Joy Dunlop. Good to see you, Joy.
Lovely to see you again. It's been far too long.
And Joy, we're off to the gold medal final tonight. I can't wait.
I know, this is one of my favourite competitions. It's one of the premier singing competitions. It's where you get all the soloists coming in and just really showing off what they can do. And there's always a lovely feeling in the hall. Folk are just thrilled to be there. Obviously, this is my local mod, so you have all the locals coming out and trying to support each other. It's lovely.
Now, I can't believe 14 years since you were the gold medalist. You must have been what?
I was a child.
A child at the time. But take us back, 2010, winning the gold medal. How did that feel?
It felt amazing. It was up in Caithness, and it was, I've been singing mod since I was young, and I came in as a learner, so I think the gold medal was the thing you always wanted to get. And I actually remember being in school, and our choir conductor, Angus Smith, he won the gold medal, and we thought he was a rock star. That was a huge thing. We were all so excited, so proud, and I think attitudes have changed over the years, but I do remember people saying to me, oh, you'll never win the gold because you're not a native speaker. And I thought, well, I will absolutely show you then. And I love singing, and I always found competing for me was a chance to perform. And I really was singing amongst my friends. Don't get me wrong, it was still terrifying.
It's definitely terrifying, but can you remember one of your winning songs, or what songs? Because let me get me this right. So today they've been doing two qualifying songs this morning,
yes.
and we'll hear two more tonight. Is that right?
It is right, and I think it's a lot easier now because we did it over 2 days. We did a qualifying song in the morning, another qualifying competition in the afternoon, and then the next day we had our final. So the nerves of just having to kind of keep yourself focused and keep the adrenaline pumping. But I remember going in. I had competed. That wasn't my first year competing. That was my 4th time actually in the final, and I felt that year I'd really worked hard and I'd prepared. And I actually won everything that year, which was great because in the other years you felt like you were doing well, but you weren't quite well enough. You were doing quite well enough. So I was getting there, I was working hard, and it was really special. I felt very, very lucky.
And maybe there was good karma that it was your 4th time, because there was somebody pretty special giving out the awards that day as well.
There was. That was the year that Prince, but now King Charles, was giving out the gold medals. So that was lovely, and it's always nice because I think there's a wee bit more attention. But for me, I remember feeling very chuffed that happened. But I was also singing with a rural choir, and I remember them saying to me, you're very lucky, would you like to come and have tea with the Prince afterwards? And I said to him, I'm really sorry, I have to go. I'm singing with a rural choir. And I had to hoik my kilt up, and I ran full pelt from one side of Thursday to the other with everyone going, congratulations, and going, thank you, but I have to sing with my choir. And getting there, just being, okay, we're ready to go.
They're ready.
But it was lovely, it felt very special.
A good warm-up.
It was. That was my best singing and athletic experience of my life.
Now, Joy, over the years you've also been a judge, or adjudicator as they call it, at the competitions as well. So tonight,
yes,
I'll be listening out to all the competitors. What should I be listening for? What makes a great gold medal performance?
I think you have sort of 2 sides. You have the accuracy. Can somebody come in? Is their Gaelic clear? Is it precise? Is their music clear and precise too? Are they singing with feeling? Are they embodying the song? And are they making it their own? And yes, you want somebody to be correct on the music in Gaelic flood, but for me, it's, did it move me? Like, did I feel that I believed what you were singing about? And that should come through, and that's the icing on the cake for me. When somebody stands up and they just sing from their heart, it's beautiful to watch. It's so enjoyable too as a listener.
I can't wait for the competition tonight. What other competitions do you gravitate to through the week?
Coming from Coinneach, I'm a rural choirs fan. You know, I've sung in choirs since I was wee, and I sing in lots of different choirs, but I do have a bit of a soft spot for the rural choirs because these are people coming from smaller areas where they're just pulling in all the singers that they've got, and they range in size, you know, from teeny wee choirs to quite big ones.
You're totally right. I've already today, you know, seen some of the choirs practicing, and you've got maybe Loch's choir, a big grand choir, and then wee choirs. It's great to see.
But
again, it's not size is important.
Size does not matter in this situation.
It's not everything. For folk who are maybe listening and thinking, do you know what, I would love to be part of that, give us your tips of like preparing now of how to get to the Mòd.
If you can take the whole week, take the whole week. But if you can't, go for maybe the second half of the week if you like adult competitions, if you want to go out at night. There's something really lovely though at the start of the week when it's all the children competing. It's really good for the soul. And learn a wee bit of Gaelic in advance, because you don't have to have any Gaelic to be here. But actually if you can say a Matin Va or a Kimera How when you go, it makes you feel like you're part of that community, and it's really special.
Well, Joy, I can see the audience walking into the hall. We're ready for the 2024 gold medal competition. Shall we go in?
Oh, I have to.
Great, okay.
Chicken.
We've just arrived in the Comunn halls for the big solo competitions of the Mòd. It's the gold medal tonight. There'll be 3 men competing in the final, 4 women competing in the final. They've been doing the qualification today. And oh my goodness, I can't wait. Can't wait. Alice, my fellow Leosoch from the island of Lewis, singing a lovely song called Most Beloved of the Dark-Haired Men. Well, that's all the songs done, 7 entries for the 2 competitions. And now the 8 judges, 4 for the women and 4 for the men, are deciding who are going to be the gold medal winners for 2024.
Julian Farjang as an Oban is a Barra Hatcher. Agus alles nicht gewöhnlich in Ruhe, es ist hier, agus der Bornche John Ryan Johnston a Eden.
Gold medalists 2024. Meldonach, both of you. Alice, how proud will you be taking that gold medal back on the ferry back to Stornoway?
Well, I would be delighted if I was going home, but it'll be my granny that's taking it back with her, delighted as ever on the ferry.
But honestly, how proud will you be to have that back on Lewis?
Oh, just delighted, just delighted.
Amazing. Nisha, Ryan, walking on that stage, there's 8 judges in front of you, the bright lights, the place was packed. Nerves, or were you feeling good?
Yeah, no, there definitely was nerves. I've not sang in a solo competition at the Mod for 7 years, so it was my first time going back into that. So just, yeah, walking out on that stage was kind of very overwhelming, but, you know, just wanted to do Isla proud, so.
Nisha, Alice, during the performance, can you think of the story, you know, of the song, or are you just thinking, got to get that high note, got to get that high note?
No, I definitely think of the story. That's my way of remembering the words, because I feel like if you don't know what's going on, you're not going to sing it very well. So the high notes, I mean, if I get them, I get them. If I don't, I don't. But if I don't have the Scalpay, there's not much point.
Well, that is true. Ryan, when the scores are coming in, does it feel like you're on the Eurovision Song Contest? Are you waiting for the 12 points?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It does feel like that. I actually was thinking as well, they were filming us in the audience, it was quite like the Oscars. You know, just Gaelic Oscars. No, but yeah, it's that feeling is quite surreal as well, seeing them come in.
And who did you phone first? When you left the stage, who was the first person you phoned to say, you won't believe it, I've won?
Well, you know what, it would normally be my granny and Shen, but they were here with us. So, you know what, they were there to see it, so I didn't really need to phone anyone. It's quite good.
And Ryan, when you get home to Isla, what's the first pub you'll be in with that gold medal?
Oh, it'll have to be Lucci's, the local in Bowmore. I have to bring that in and show everyone in there the medal, see what they say.
Well, what a journey, and you're going to have some adventures being the gold medalist. Super proud of you both. Meldonach. Behind the scenes at the BBC Alba studios here, and I am in the makeup area with the one and only Cathy MacDonald. Cymra how, Cathy? Great to see you. Now, I don't think the mod begins until I hear that beautiful music starting your show from Capercaillie. What do you think?
Oh, I love that music, and I think every time I hear it, I suddenly go with the mod. And it doesn't matter what the context is. It's lovely. It's such an essential part of the mod, isn't it?
It is. And so, for those who don't know, you have a TV show every night, isn't it, of the mod?
Every night and every afternoon, because this afternoon we've got the rural choirs who arrived probably last night and have their eyes on the main prizes, the Lorne Shield and the Sheriff McMaster.
Big competitions.
Big competition.
Cathy, cast your mind back. When was your first ever mod?
I think probably local mod, and I was about 8 or 9. And do you know what I remember about it? Singing in the town hall, and the stage was massive. higher than me, and I thought, am I going to get up there? And I sang Has Miorach sa Vatin Hugh, and I was terrified. But that's my first memory of a mod. And you had to go. It was like a drill. You went with the school.
Absolutely.
I'm glad I did. Did you? Did you?
Yes, many times. Oh, yes. I think this might be my 40th mod I think I'm on at the moment. And long may it continue. But thinking back over the years, some of the stars of Gaelic music have come from being on that stage.
For sure. And last night was an example. Alice MacMillan of the, you'll know them because they're from Lochs.
They are.
And she won the gold medal, the Comunn Gàidhealach gold medal, and it's a big, big deal. And I remember her as a teenager singing and coming through the competitions, the young competitions, and she was tremendous. And I just had a feeling we're going to see and hear more of you again, and that's lovely, because you know. And somebody said yesterday, not to forget the family, the Mòd family, and that's everyone who helps people prepare for songs, give them support and advice, because it's not something you do on your own. You need that support, and you need the confidence of people who've done the same thing and know how to prepare yourself for something like that.
Now, you'll be in the studio today, and you'll have a couple of guests who are the real experts. They'll be telling the people at home what they've thought of the different choirs. So it's quite interesting when you're hearing what people who really know about music think of the choirs.
Well, they can't read music, which is something I can't, and I'm always amazed because it's just marks on the paper to me. And I watch this kind of intense concentration. Today, interestingly, I have two locals. Well, one is a new local, Joy Dunlop, who I think said that she fell in love with Gaelic because of her first mod here in Oban, because she's from nearby Connell. And Kerry Kennedy was married to Lyle Kennedy from Oban, of course. And it'll be interesting, because I suspect they'll be, bigging up Oban. This is where the first mod took place, of course. So coming to Oban, I think, is probably one of my favourite venues. A number of reasons, and it has a good feeling. It has just the scenery is glorious. The weather, strangely, defies the forecasters.
You're totally right.
We had terrible rain yesterday, and yet it cleared up. We had a gorgeous evening, and it was just like being on the Riviera. We promenade at night, and you catch up with people who ordinarily you'd meet going, oh, it's freezing, how are you? And, they're all kilted up and, dressed in their glad rags. And it's lovely.
Cathy, I can't wait to be sitting in front of the telly watching your show tonight and have another amazing mod. And we'll see you in Lochaber.
We certainly will. I hope so. But thank you. Always a joy. Tapel at the Coinneach.
That's just the start of the rural choir competition, and I can't wait to hear the rest of the choirs. But that's all we've got time for today, but can't wait to see you at the Mòd next year.
Joe
Well, that's all from this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, like, rate and review and share with your friends.
For show notes and more information on this and all our other island destinations, plus full details on Caledonian MacBrain's routes, timetables, prices and bookings, go to calmac.co.uk.
Every journey starts a story, so book your Caledonian MacBrain Island adventure now.
This podcast is brought to you by The Big Light. The presenters were Coinneach MacLeod and Natalie Galloway. The producer was Flora Zacek, with mixing and original music by Brian McAlpine. The assistant producer was Michael Park.
From the Big Light Studio.